And Coach, thanks for joining us today as we get ready for the final week of spring practice.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I know there's a lot of talk about the format of the Saturday spring practice. Just what we're going to do is we're just going to give our fans and everyone an inside look at how we practice. It's not going to be a game per se. Really, the focus is going to be on the efficiency, the attention to detail, the sense of urgency in which we practice, the enthusiasm, the high effort, the high energy. And that's really how we go about our practices. It's going to be a chance for everyone to see the culture of our practices and emphasize how we really go to work. We want it to be very competitive, and this format that we're planning is going to be the best way to really display all of those things based upon the guys that we have available. The drills in the first half of the practice will really set the tone, and then we'll have some live scrimmage work in the second half of the practice. In terms of recruiting, there's been a lot of talk about the transfer portal, and there's a lot of activity in the portal, for us and everyone in the country. Our activity in the portal is going to be based upon the circumstances of our team, and so I just want everyone to understand that we're going to do what we have to do to build our team. I don't anticipate necessarily being in the portal as much in subsequent years. We would ideally like to build our team through the high school ranks, and that's really our primary focus. We will use the portal to complement and supplement the talent on our team. Having fans in the stands for the spring practice on Saturday, we're really excited about that. It's really an opportunity for our players to play in front of fans. We've been looking forward to this for quite some time. It's exposure for our program. It's going to be on the Big Ten Network, which is huge for us. We'll have the band, we'll have the cheer team there. It's going to be a great environment, and it's something that we didn't have a year ago, and we're really excited to have that on Saturday. So, with that being said, I'll open up for questions.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Chris Solari from the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Mel, good to see you.
Good to see you, Chris.
Now that you guys are about, I think, 12 or 13 practices through, from a health standpoint, have you been able to get through fairly unscathed? Is there anyone you anticipate won't be able to go on Saturday?
Yeah, we've been relatively healthy. We'll see, what the injury report is, after practice, at the end of today and tomorrow morning, and we'll go through. It's a fluid situation. But, in terms of catastrophic type injuries, we've been able to avoid those for the most part.
How has that helped with what you've been trying to establish with competition as well, to have the guys healthy and pushing each other?
It means a lot to be out on the field. You can't make the club in the tub, so you need to be out there practicing and getting work and getting better, and that's how we have more competitive practices. The more guys that are available to practice and get out there and compete and get better, the better football team we're going to have.
Our next question will go to Matt Charbonneau with the Detroit News.
Hey, Mel. I know you mentioned the fans being there. Considering the way last year went, these guys haven't played in front of fans really in quite a while now. Not that it's going to be packed or anything, but do you sense an excitement from these guys to having at least somebody there, somebody besides some family and friends to see what's going on?
Yeah, I do. I do sense some excitement from our players and also from our coaches. It's an opportunity to get out there in front of our fans. We haven't had that, and it's very exciting. We're looking forward to it.
And then I wanted to ask too, I'm sure we'll keep asking about this well into preseason camp and whatnot, but as you get to the end of spring, your quarterback situation is going to continue to be a focus here. Where would you say those guys are at this point, getting to the end of spring? I'm speaking specifically probably with Anthony and Peyton, but obviously if some other guys are making some moves, those guys too.
Yeah, I mean, it's they're just competing and working to get better. You know, it hasn't shaken itself out yet. At some point that it will, but it's really too early for that to happen. But I really like the progress that they've made. They're working really hard, and you know, guys are getting better. You know, we're getting better as a football team. That's the most important thing at this time of year.
Thanks, Mel.
Yeah, thank you.
Our next question will go to Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey Mel, can't make the tub in the club. Can't make the club in the tub. That's worth repeating. Just want to say that. To Matt's follow up, as it relates to the excitement, is there still a mental toughness expectation, even though it's not an actual game scenario? You still want your guys to be locked in. You still want everyone to do the things they're supposed to do, even though there's like some glamour and glitz going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a meat and potatoes type practice. It's not going to be a whole lot of French pastry in terms of inside the lines. You know, whatever's going on outside of the lines, it is what it is. But in terms of the practice, you know, we're going to do what we do. We got to get out there. We got to get work done. I mean, it's practice 15 for us, and it's another opportunity to get better. And you know, aggregation of marginal gains. We just got to get 1-2% better. Everything we're doing, you know, every day, individually and collectively. That's the goal of that practice.
And as a quick follow-up for the incoming freshmen, the early signees like Ethan Boyd or someone like that, do you think this is going to be a real big experience for them because the lights will finally be on?
Yeah, I think it will be, and we'll see how they react, and that's part of the process. You know, that's really part of the progression. You know, you just take it from the meeting rooms, and you take it to walkthrough. You take it to you take it to individual, then you take it to group work. You take it to a scrimmage, and you take it to a live game. You know, and this is the closest to a live game that you can really get when you get into the stadium and you actually have fans, and you do go live. And so even though it's not going to be a total game format, it's going to be more of a glimpse into how we run our practices. It's going to be very competitive. We are going to have some live periods in there, and there's going to be fans, and there's going to be some excitement. There'll be some pressure as well.
I got it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Next question is from Kellen Buddy with WILX.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for chatting with us today. We kind of touched on it a little bit. The spring game with the fans and the added excitement. You mentioned the players are kind of excited for it, but when we first heard we are going to be able to have fans at the spring game, you said this is going to be super exciting, and we might as well get the cheerleaders, the band in there, and of course we're going to see that. So from your perspective, how is this kind of a celebration of maybe a fresh start with being able to start recruiting, getting fans in, and kind of the whole shebang there?
I just think it's great exposure for our program. It's good for our fans. It's good for our players. Everyone wants to be in the stadium. Everyone's hungry for football, and it's just a great opportunity for us to go out and show where we are at this point and connect with our fans. And obviously recruiting has never stopped. It doesn't begin on Saturday. It's just we recruit every single day. So, we're really excited about it. I mean, I can't say it enough. But when we step on the field on Saturday, we'll be locked in again better.
Next question is from Matt Wenzel with MLive.
Hey Mel, just for clarification, will Saturday's spring game still count as one of the 3 spring practices in which you primarily use an 11-on-11 scrimmage format, or are you planning on using that elsewhere?
This is going to be pretty much how we practice normally, but we will have some live periods. So it'll be an opportunity to showcase, how we operate a practice. The individual periods, the group periods, the team periods. How we move from drill to drill. With the sense of urgency, the attention to detail, how hard our guys play, how physical they are, and how efficient we are. And we'll have some live periods, mixed in. So we'll get that live, scrimmage feel to it. So I think that's the best way to showcase where we are at this point.
And with all your experience coaching in college at different stops, it looked like you did more of a regular spring game last year at Colorado. But is this something closer to what you've done at different places along the way, as far as just like you said, what you're trying to use to best showcase what you can do right now?
The places I've been has usually been a game, but this Saturday is not going to be that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Thank you.
Our next question is from Paul Marber with USA Today.
Hey, Mel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The recruiting calendar is going to open up on the 1st of June, run through about the end of that month. I'm curious, as you look ahead to that period, how do you expect that to go in terms of just the impact of having the ability to have people on campus and how crazy that might get for you and for your staff? And secondly, have you considered how you might use the opportunity to work out unofficial visits during that period as well?
Yeah, we're going to hit the ground running, and it's really kind of getting back to normal for us, and we're used to this in that month of June. We're used to recruits being in all day every day, whether they're in for official visits or they're in for unofficial visits. They're working out. We got camps going. That's what this time of year is. That's what that time of year is usually all about. And so, we've been planning for it, and we'll be ready. We'll be ready to rock and roll.
Our next question is from Audrey Dahlgren with WLNS.
Hi, Mel. You mentioned at the beginning that you want people to see the culture of your practices at this spring game. And there are some players who have gained quite a bit of weight and gotten a little bigger throughout this spring ball period. But what else is going to maybe jump out to people when they see you guys on the field? Or what do you at least hope jumps out to people?
I would say practice organization, the sense of urgency, the pace and the tempo and intensity at which we work. We don't waste any time. It's very organized, and we get a lot done in a short period of time, and the practices are physical. I think that's what people will see.
As a quick follow-up, do you think people are going to be not surprised by how much bigger some players are, but do you think that will jump out too?
Yeah, we'll see. I've noticed that quite a few of the players are bigger. They put on a significant amount of lean muscle mass. We're doing body comps right now with our guys before they leave, and the numbers are checking out. The numbers are actually showing what we're actually saying, and that we have made some significant strides in terms of our body composition. We've gained muscle and reduce body fat, and that's part of the process. We'll continue to do that throughout the summer, and rolling into fall camp. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to know what the fans think about that.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Next question is from Jim Comparoni with Spartan Magazine.
Hey, Mel, thanks for doing this. Hey, so the defensive backfield, especially at corner, I'm not sure you've got the usual number of allotment, your normal allotment of corners that you normally will have or will have in the fall. How much of a challenge has it been this spring? And you can correct me if I'm wrong about that, but how much of a challenge has it been this spring to scrimmage and so forth with maybe not as many scholarship players at corner as you will have in the fall or normally would have? How difficult has that been? And how has Kalen Gervin done if he's gotten on the field?
Yes, it's not very difficult. You coach the players that you have, and you coach them just like whether they're a scholarship or walk on. You coach them the same. It's technique and fundamentals. Teach, motivate, and develop, and get them in position to make plays, and that's really what we've done. Obviously, we're thin at some of these positions, and so we're expecting more players to come in this summer that are going to help us from the high school ranks and transfers. And so, what we have now will look a lot different in the future, in the summer, and going in the fall camp. Gerv has done a good job. When he's been out there, he's a hard worker. Football is important to him. It's not like you gotta like it, love it, or live it. He loves football, and he's gonna be a really strong player for us, I believe.
Any early impressions with Michael Gravely?
I don't have anything early on him, no.
Okay. All right. One more thing real quick. After you reviewed your film of the second scrimmage, what are some main areas of emphasis that you would like to see improve here for your third scrimmage opportunity?
Yeah, I want to see lower pad level. I want to see better hand placement. I want to see better footwork. I want to see guys play faster, and I want guys to be more physical on the field. I want to see 11 to the ball on defense. On offense, I want to see people getting moved at the line of scrimmage to get more push up front in the run game. I don't want to see any balls on the ground. That's what we want to see on Saturday.
All right, great. Thanks a lot.
Try to get to everybody. We'll go to Rainer Saban with the Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Mel, you saw this program at its peak when you were at Alabama in 2014. How far away do you think, based on what you've seen from last season and even the spring, from getting back to kind of that level where, you're consistently competing for, big bowl games and, the league championship?
Yeah, only time will tell how far away we are. We still got a lot of work to do with this particular team. We've got guys coming this summer that we need to get into our program and get indoctrinated into our culture. And then we'll continue to gain ground and see what happens. But like I said, we had a long way to go, and we have some catching up to do. And so that's what we're working hard to do that, every single day. We're very realistic about what we need to get done, and so we don't have a day to waste.
When you look at the Big Ten, though, landscape, there's been some recent quick success stories, Minnesota, Indiana, recently. Does that give you some level of confidence that this could be, a quicker process, given the state of college football and obviously the introduction of the transfer portal and change the complexion of things?
I think when you take a close look at some of these programs that are having success, that have had success recently, you'll see that it's been a process, and they built a football team. It's been about culture. It's been about recruiting, and it's taken a measure of time. I'm a very impatient person, but I don't get frustrated. So I know that there's a process. And we're going through that process right now to get our team as good as we can get as fast as we can within our process. And so, that's what we're doing every single day. We know we got some catching up to do. How quickly we can get there is going to depend on us. It's going to depend on how much better we get. Every day that we have an opportunity to work, and it's going to depend on how well we recruit. And our standards are high, and we have to perform to those standards each and every day. And the lowest form of performance that you accept becomes your culture. And so we're not going to accept anything less than what our standards are.
Thanks.
And our last one that we have is to get everybody is Stephen Brooks at 24/7 Sports. Stephen?
Hey, Mel, good to see you. Curious about when you say, excited to show fans everything that you guys have been up to, what do you think will be, or hope, I guess, the areas that have made the most improvement since the last time they saw this team? Obviously, December at Penn State. Are there any groups that you could point out yet, even in the individual and team group settings before the scrimmaging, that folks could keep an eye on that might be exciting battles or anything like that? Or like I said, the greatest areas of improvement, I guess, from last year.
Yeah, well, one thing we have to do is we need to take care of the football. So if we see footballs on the ground, that's not a good thing. We need to be able to run the ball. So if you take a look at the offensive line, you want to see pad level, you want to see the line of scrimmage moving, you want to see surge, you want to see ball carriers falling forward on contact and running through the smoke, running behind their pads. want to see guys playing through the echo of the whistle and finishing guys. And if we're in a live situation, you want to see guys on their backs. That's what you like. That's what you like to see on defense. We need to be stout in the trenches. Make sure they cannot run the ball inside. We want to knock people back and stand people up. We want to set the edge and build a wall up front. We want the linebackers that are in there to be able to make the plays they're supposed to make. In the back end, we need to be solid tacklers. Make sure you don't get the ball thrown over your head. When you have a chance to make a play, make the play. That's what we need to see. Those are improvements we need to make. Those are some things we did last year, but it was inconsistent. We need to do those on a consistent basis.
Gotcha. Thanks so much.
Yep, thank you.
All right, looks like we got to everybody. So, Coach, we appreciate your time. We're excited to see you on the field Saturday in Spartan Stadium.
Thank you so much. Excited to see you. Go Green.